Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. And on behalf of Dr. Karen Knudsen, who is the CEO of the American Cancer Society and the Cancer Action Network, Lisa Lacasse, who is president of the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, Vice President Tammy Boyd, who runs our Federal Affairs Office, our state legislative teams, our grassroots managers, and I don't know if it's most importantly, but the thousands of volunteers who fight cancer every day through their lobbying or their advocacy or helping to work with screening. Thank you. I'm James Williams, Jr. I'm Director of Federal Affairs for Cancer Prevention, Early Detection, and Screening. And very briefly, I'm going to talk about one of the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network's most important pieces of legislation, H.R. 2402, also known as in the Senate as 1069, the Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Act. If I have a slide up, that's fine. But if you're not, no problem. I'll keep on talking because let me tell you, I worked on the Hill for 20 years and I'm very good at that. However, I promise not to be, I was telling my friend Greg, my grandfather said, son, oh thank you, my grandfather said, son, whenever you think you're getting too long-winded, just remember the Gettysburg Address only took 2.5 minutes. So I'll be sure to keep that in mind. The American Cancer Society was founded in 1913, and that's the organization that I'm sure you're probably very familiar with. The American Cancer Society, since 1951, we have issued our Cancer Facts and Figures book, which is the Bible, really, of research on everything that's cancer-related. The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network was founded a little over 20 years ago, and we are the nonprofit advocacy arm for the American Cancer Society. The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, I'm going to call it ACS-CAN. I know we're in DC, we like acronyms a lot, but ACS-CAN is, what we do is we seek evidence-based public policy solutions that lower the burden of cancer for everyone. The Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Act is one of the key pieces of legislation that the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network is moving this Congress. And I fully hope and expect that this bill is going to be passed in the House, passed in the Senate, and it will become law this Congress. That is before the end of the 118th Congress. I say evidence-based because it's without a doubt. Asbestos can cause cancer. And this bill is good for everyone. And I know this is unexpected, Greg, but I'm gonna need you to come stand next to me for a minute. Now, Greg, back in 1983 when we both had hair, and you were a new firefighter, if that building across the street is on fire, you don't ask if there are black people in that building, do you?
We don't ask ever. We don't ask if they're Republican, if they're Democrat, if they're American. We don't care.
You don't care. You go fight that fire, regardless.
Life is precious.
If it's indigenous, Asian Pacific Islander, Latino, you head in there fearlessly.
Absolutely.
Without fear nor favor.
Well, there's probably a whole lot of fear, but we do it nonetheless.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to bring Greg up for this reason. And why did I do that? You say, James, why'd you bring Greg up? Because asbestos affects everyone, even though this legislation, and I'm proud to be with my brother, I know we look alike, I'm proud to be with my brother, Greg. What this bill is about is banning asbestos for everyone, not just firefighters. You saw a picture in which there was asbestos on a playground with little babies out playing in the field. And you know what, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, those children could possibly get cancer from being exposed to asbestos. And I bring up the fact that firefighters go in fearlessly and they rescue lives is because right now, in the words of President Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. The firefighters are really asking us, what can we do for them? And what we can do is to try to save their lives by getting this bill signed into law, because they rescue our lives without asking whether or not you have the money or your race or your color or your gender or if you're LGBTQ or not. We save your life, and that's exactly what this legislation is going to do. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor myself. And while, that's important, well, thank you. And I bring that up because one thing about cancer is when it gets in your body, it's trying to kill you. It's not trying to make you better. It's not going to make you look good. It's trying to kill you. And so that's why we need to pass this legislation. So we are going to win. And I need all the people in this room right now to stand up because we're going to have a call and response right quick, okay? Now, the bill again is in the House is H.R. 2407. In the Senate, it's S1069. In the House, it's sponsored by Congresswoman Susan Bonamici. In the Senate, by Senator Jeff Merkley. We need a Republican to get on this bill so we can make it bipartisan. Once it gets through there, the bill is going to pass pretty quickly, I believe, and I expect that to happen. So why did I get you all to stand up? Because what we're all going to do is repeat after me. I will contact my member of the House or my member of the Senate to get them to co-sponsor the Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Act. You may have a seat. That's what you're going to do. And if you don't know how to do it, you can contact me. My email is james.williams@cancer.org. Real easy to remember. And if you email me, I'll tell you who your member of the House or the Senate is. You need to do this. And so why I'll end up with this. I hope I'm keeping under the 5 minutes. So that's because, one thing, either personally or professionally, I know that change only happens when your desire to change outweighs your desire to stay the same. Congress sometimes is set in staying the same. I have seen this time and time again, and it is only after a relentless resilience and diligence that's exhibited by Linda, by the International Association of Firefighters, and by the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization that change happens. This is 20 years that we've been, in conjunction with ADA, with the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, that we've been fighting this fight. So I end with this. We are going to win. We always have to win. I used to be a chief of staff to Congressman John Lewis, who walked over that bridge in the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Alabama. They didn't think they were going to win. They didn't think they were going to make it. I had a grandfather who fought in World War II. He went over and fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He had 5 children. His wife was pregnant with twins. He didn't think he was going to make it, but he had the perseverance to win. When he participated in the 1963 March on Washington, a lot of people look back at that as if it was a, fun gathering. My grandfather was threatened with the loss of his life. He's got 13 children, but he participated anyway. The price that we all have to pay, making a call to our member of Congress, asking our member of Congress to represent us to ensure that the Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Act gets co-sponsored and supported by you on the floor is a small price to pay to make sure that people like Greg and other individuals who possibly have been exposed to asbestos and who can have full, wonderful lives if they weren't exposed to asbestos, in all likelihood, can thrive and can continue. So, the American Cancer Society, Cancer Action Network, once again, thank you, Linda, for being here. I'm glad to be joined with my brother, Greg. And it's through education, advocacy, and community that the Alan Reinstein bill is going to be signed into law during the 118th Congress. I thank you for your time.